Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here to today to the Nova Scotia Arm Wrestling Association Open Competition at the Bullseye Pub in Bedford. We got about 30 entries, most of them in the heavier class, the super heavyweight class, and the right-hand open class. It's going to be good competition. Guys from all across Nova Scotia, some as far as Cape Breton, down the valley, down the South Shore, and even a couple guys from PEI here today. My partner here today is Scott McGinnis, and we'll be doing your color commentary for you, and also sitting in will be Mark Stevens.
Before we go any further, though, I think congratulations are in order, Rick. Congratulations on finishing second at the World Championships in Thunder Bay in 1998. Good show.
Thank you very much. Great competition. Hopefully I'll be back again, improve upon that. Anyway, we're about to start, and we're just waiting for our person to call up our first two entries. And maybe we can introduce our referees here. In the background is Dave Campbell. Dave's a master referee from Upper Sackville.
How long has Dave been refereeing?
Dave's been refereeing about 11, 12 years, I believe. He's refereed numerous national championships, a couple of world championships. Top-notch referee. He's always dependable. You know how he referees, and so you know what to expect out of Dave. And our other referee today, level 2 referee, Cecil Fay. Cecil's been refereeing for several years also. He's also from Sackville, and they'll be switching back and forth. Right now Dave's the head referee, and Cecil's the spot judge. Right now we have at the table Randy Snow. Randy's just a newcomer to the sport. This is in the super heavyweight class, over 200 pounds. And his opponent is Chris Scott. Chris is from Upper Sackville. Chris has been arm wrestling now for about probably 8 years, 10 years, something like that. Randy's from Truro. Chris is from Upper Sackville. And Chris gets a jump on him there. Size is pretty well deceiving in this sport. Sometimes
very deceiving.
Just because a person's bigger doesn't mean they're always stronger. And like I said, Randy just started in the sport, so he's got a lot to learn here yet.
It seemed in that match, Chris really listened for the go and really hit right on the go.
Chris saw the size of him and knew how strong he'd be, so he wanted to get the jump on him right on the go. And that's one of the things a lot of people walking in off the street don't realize, that it's, you know, they say ready, go. It's not just getting up there, pressuring up and pulling. You have big explosion right off the top. And speaking of big explosions, here's a perfect example coming up. Mark's in the white on your right-hand side, and Mark is super explosive. I'm not sure who the gentleman is on the left-hand side there. It's like a newcomer to the sport, but you got to be very fast. Mark actually took it easy on him. Mark's normally a lot faster than that.
Good win for Mark.
Good word. Yeah. Nice to see he took it easy on the guy, actually knowing the guy was just new off the street. Nothing worse than walking up there and having somebody just rip your arm off off the bat. And we're still in the super heavyweight. Here comes Kenny Snow. Kenny's came over from Charlottetown. He's the brother of Randy Snow, who pulled earlier.
Kenny's a relatively newcomer as well to the sport.
Yeah, he's competed on and off over quite a few years, but he's really just getting into it now. They've got a club going in Charlottetown, being run by a Canadian champion, Charlie McGagan, so but he's definitely got his hands full here in Stephen Sandoval. Stephen's been around for about 10 years, and he's one strong guy. I know I've competed against Stephen several times, and a lot of power in this guy.
There it was.
Yeah, he definitely showed it there. Stephen's quite wide, and he uses a lot of strength. He knows how to use his weight to his advantage to pull the other guy down. He's got a good wrist on him too, which makes a big difference.
So is there an advantage to a guy coming to the table weighing 250 going up against somebody 200 pounds?
Well, there is if they're both equal basically in knowledge. There definitely is, because the person's got that weight to use as a leverage, and I mean that's basically what this game is a leverage game. So you know, and you've got to have the arm and that to back it up. Now we're actually in the right-hand open. This is a new class we started this year. That's why Stephen's right back up here again, going against Chris. They both went in the super heavyweight, and in the open class is where we took all the top arm wrestlers in the province. and we put them in their own special class to give the newcomers a chance in the heavier weight classes. And if anybody else wants to go up there, they can, and test their strength against the top guys. They can. That's what these two did. Chris and Stephen both went up to see how they're going to fare against all the top guys. So this could be interesting. Chris looking good here.
Yeah, got the jump on him.
Yeah.
He's sitting good right now.
Yeah. From the position Chris is sitting, the main thing is you don't want to, just because you got the person's wrist rolled out, you don't want to relax thinking you've got it made. Chris didn't do that. He stayed right on top of it all the time, came around. Good pull by Chris.
Good win for Chris.
Yeah. Having a guy's wrist rolled out sometimes, I've seen a lot of people, they think, I got the guy's wrist rolled out, it's just a cakewalk from here on in, but all it takes is, you're letting up a little bit, and the other guy giving a big heave, and next thing you know, you're in the losing position.
Yeah.
And that can be a tough haul back now. Coming up, we got two top guys coming right now. Greg Harnish.
14-time provincial champion.
Yeah, 14. He's only lost the provincials once.
Wow.
Since we started, this was going into our 15th year coming up.
And we have David Senepaw.
David Senepaw.
Second at the Atlantics this year?
Second at the Atlantics, and that was an awesome class over at the Atlantics. David was in there. Greg finished third, although these two didn't meet up. Just the way the chips fell type thing, that these two didn't meet. So this could be really interesting. These guys are both, their first slip out, and we're going to strap them up. Both going similar techniques. That's why the slip out occurred. You get two big, strong guys here, and I'll tell you, I've competed against both of them. Greg has just got a phenomenal wrist, and Steve's got a lot of back pressure. He's fairly quick for a man his size, and this could be quite interesting. Although in the straps, I think I have to give the nod to Greg here. What do you think?
Yeah, I've pulled against Greg myself. His wrist is unbelievable. If it comes down to just a wrist, I don't think I've come up against anybody who has a wrist like Greg Harnish.
No. And in the straps, he's even more deadly. You see Dave's a little trying to get his... Dave's actually setting up there pretty good. He's been practicing hard. His brother pulled earlier there, Steven Senepaw. So, it's good when you got two brothers that compete. They can practice, and, especially two guys that are the same size type thing.
Yeah.
And these guys come all the way from Escazone. They come out a fair bit. They're over in the island. They've been competing a long time. And it pays off. Yeah. And there's an example of Greg's wrist strength.
In the straps, he is deadly.
Yeah, and he overpowered Steven's wrist. That's what happened there. You can see how David's wrist flipped back as Greg took him down. And coming up now, we've got Perry Broom be heading up here.
I didn't quite hear the announcement, so.
No, I didn't hear it either. We got a newcomer coming up. I know he's from Beaverbank. I'm not sure what his name is. And he's going against Perry Broom. Perry's a 7-time national champion in the 143-pound class. And you're thinking, size doesn't matter. Here's a typical example right here. Perry's very explosive.
A lot stronger than people might think he is.
Oh, yeah. And he's been back training again. He lost his national title last year. He had the longest running title going at that time. And he wants it back. And there's your example right there. Perry taking him down in quick fashion. Now I have a feeling I'm up next.
Next to Rick Pinkney and Mark Stevens.
Good luck to you, Rick.
Thank you.
As we said earlier, Rick Pinkney finished second at the World Championships in 1998 in Thunder Bay. Mark Stevens having a very good year again this year. Atlantic Canadian champion just a few weeks ago in PEI. Should be an interesting poll. For Rick, the key is the go. Not sure if he can match up with Mark's power. I'll try and get him off the go. This guy really trying to get hand position. Tried to go, and Mark was able to catch him. brought him right back into a hook, and that was the end for Rick this afternoon.
That was the right-hand open class.
Well, that was quick.
Just saying, Rick, though, that I didn't think you could match Mark's power, so everything was off the go. It looked like you got the shot in there, but
I can't compare with his wrist, though. You're talking about wrists again, and I've got a fair wrist, but Mark's got a great wrist, and he's really picked up on his speed over the last couple of years. Before, you could get a good jump on Mark, and hopefully that would carry you through. That just doesn't cut it anymore. Mark, I think that came with his confidence, too. Mark's been around for about 6 or 7 years, and he's just pulling super now. He won the Atlantic Canadians, and he looks so good over on PEI.
On elbow foul.
Oh, we get Randy Snow up there right now on your right-hand side in the blue. And we still haven't caught the other gentleman's name yet. And these guys are both newcomers. It's good to see two newcomers come up, pulling against each other.
Go.
This,
Winner.
yeah. Wow.
coming down.
Winner was
And it's hard, too. The one thing Randy dropped down here the other night for a practice. We practice here at the Bullseye every Thursday night. And he dropped down, thought he'd get some experience in, but there's just too much to learn in a short amount of time. He can only show people so much, and and they've got all this knowledge running through their head, and it's
Don't I know that?
yeah.
And you can listen to theory all you want, but putting it in practice in a tournament is a different thing.
Yeah, and another thing is, too, you got all this stuff running through your head, and you're trying to get up the table and think about all this stuff that you're supposed to do, and then all of a sudden Ready Go comes, and even when you're setting up, all of a sudden your mind goes blank, and you can't remember anything, and Ready Go comes, and down you go. This is a good pull here. Chris Scott and Trevor Senepaw.
Chris hanging tough.
No,
But no.
no. Trevor got him.
Trevor got him into the hook, and
Yeah, good pull.
Winner, Trevor Senepa.
Trevor strong inside. We're talking about inside is in the hook. What you just saw Trevor take there. Chris was going to go for the top roll, try to stay outside of Trevor's power. Didn't quite work that way. So I think this is one of the first times I've seen Trevor pull right-handed, too.
he usually just pulls left-handed, does he?
He usually just pulls left-handed. Good to see him changing arms up. This could be interesting.
Very interesting.
Now, I see Mark lined up. It looks like he's going to try to come inside, which, if he can hit him fast enough, I think he's okay. But when you get a guy the size of Steven and a guy with Steven's power, you don't really want to hit inside to his power. Like if I was Mark, I'd try to stay on the outside and top roll. That is, spread Steven apart. You see the size of Steven's hand. He's got a good sized mid on him there.
Bring your shoulder in there. Lock off. I'm sorry how you did some shit, but. Ready to go. Winner.
Yeah, got him on his speed. That's what he needed. Yeah, that's what he needed. Mark will be happy with that win.
And that was much faster for Mark, that match, than it was the last
Well, I
match.
think he saw it too, the caliber of opponent he was about to pull there too, and he knew he had to pick it up a notch. Again, it goes back to good sportsman on Mark's behalf on his first match, not to just go up and knowing a guy he could beat, not just to take and toast him away. So, you like to see that, because nobody wants to see somebody walking off the street and just look at their arm half tore off. So.
No, but all the guys here are good.
Yeah.
And they all, everybody likes to win, but they all began at one time as well.
Yeah, that's right. And, like you said, everybody's been in the same boat. Nobody wanted to walk in. They don't want to have anybody take and go up and rip their arm off. So, it's a bit of respect. We want to see newcomers come out and stuff like that. So everybody goes kind of easy on them. And, that's one of the reasons we started the open class, is to allow newcomers to come in, give them a chance in the class.
So that they don't end up pulling against the top guys in the province or
yeah,
the region.
you start having to pull guys like Greg Harnish and Mark Stevens right off the bat. That is real tough on you. You know what I mean? A lot of guys won't come back 2 or 3 times, after they have to take and pull them guys too many times. And David took down his brother Steven there. Doesn't look like Steve tried real hard. Looks like they knew Dave could win, and they probably have some good battles. So they thought instead of burning one another out, they'll take and let one win. And I believe I'm back up again.
I believe you're right. And the guys get ready at the table. See how Rick does this time.
Go.
Rick has hand advantage. Just waiting. Didn't wait too long though. Starting to come back a bit. Vern's giving Rick a good go. We're trying to make a move. Just trying to get hand position. Get himself into a better position. Just pushing into his shoulder a bit. What a good pull. Great pull. One elbow foul on Rick Pinckney. What a pull. See if the second time around it goes the same way. Or does Rick try and go for it right off the go this time? This is where stamina comes into account. The guys are putting out all their worth and have to start all over again. The referees get them set up, and we're just about ready to go again.
Go.
Decisive move for the go that time. Vern was a little bit burned out after that long pull. Like I said, that's where stamina really comes into account.
Oh, that was a tough one.
It sure looked it.
Well, I tell you, when he comes around with the shoulder, I feel a lot of power in there. And, you know, I wanted to feel him out a bit, see what he had. And this guy had a lot of strength.
Yeah. Well, it looked like a couple times you went to make a move and a little bit more power than you anticipated.
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah. Things just didn't click the way I'd hoped. And I just kept tightening up and kind of waited for him to burn out a bit. And then when I got my elbow foul, and I thought, well, I'll try something a little different this time instead of letting him hit.
Interesting match here with Chris and Mark.
Mark will be coming in inside.
Oh, we got some elbow fouls. Elbow foul.
Lots of elbow fouls there, yeah. No arguing that one.
Definitely not.
Yeah. Surprised Mark actually started to go for the top.
Yeah.
Yeah,
back
changed his mind on that one. He didn't want to take a chance of getting a second elbow foul on that one. So, and that goes to show you a couple different styles. Mark's pretty versatile now. Before he stuck with that one move, coming inside, and he'd stick with it come hell or high water. But now he'll experiment a bit, try going for the top roll and stuff like that. And he surprised a lot of guys last year at the Atlantic Canadians. He took and he top rolled a lot of these guys off. Thought he was going to bring his shoulder, come inside. He took and wheeled around on them, and
that must make a difference. So, you know, you're expecting someone to hit you inside, and all of a sudden they're trying to pull you outside.
Yeah. Especially, you see the guy, and he does the same thing time after time after time. Yep. So, I mean, you set up your setup is different and stuff like that. So, you know, this is what you're looking for. So, when a person changes and throws you completely up, he's a guy that's going to come inside with his shoulder is going to do one thing, guy top rolls another. Right now we got Greg Harnish up there and Perry Broom. Nobody takes Perry lightly.
Nobody can afford to.
No.
Go!
Here's Greg's wrist again. Perry's got good wrist, but again.
Nothing like Greg's.
Yeah, it's hard to touch that. Getting back to talking about setups, you know, if you see somebody, say like Mark, if you know he's going to come in with his shoulder, you're going to grip up differently with him that way than whether if he's going to top roll, now you're going to get your hand up a little higher, you know, than as if he was coming inside, we grab a little lower on him. And if you make the mistake of thinking he's coming one way and he goes a different way, he's going to go through you like nothing.
So, and then what do you do? Is it just a guessing game?
Well, I get up there and I can usually tell by the way a person takes and pressures up when they're up there. They may take and put a lot of pressure on their bottom fingers. They may put a lot of pressure on their top fingers. You look the way their shoulders are set up, whether they're coming inside or whether they're top rolling. Now you'll see these two guys here. And those two guys, basically, they're fairly new. You know, Kenny's got a little bit more experience, but
I didn't catch his name. His name was Vern, the other guy.
Yeah.
A lot of power in that arm, though.
You got that right.
Into a hook already.
Yeah. Now you'll see, they're both staying nice and tight. And Kenny wants to make sure he stays in there. You'll see how their shoulders are nice and close to their hands. That's where you want to be. You don't want that hand to get too far away from your shoulder. Because if it does, then you're giving up too much. The further your hand gets away, there he goes. And I felt when he came in the way he just did there and beat Kenny. No, he just got a foul line. He didn't win. So I felt the power that he had when he comes inside. So I know what Kenny's dealing with there. And Kenny's going to have to try to put up a little more back pressure and keep him out of that power.
Try more of an over-the-top move rather than try and get right back into the hook with him.
Yeah.
But is Vern's wrist strong?
He's got a pretty good wrist on it. However, a little bit of back pressure will take that away. Oh, Vern's got him in there who wants him again. He felt really good there.
Now it's a stamina game.
Yeah.
Second elbow foul.
Second elbow foul. Vern takes it that time. You never like to win that way, but I'll tell you, after a long pull, you'll take anything.
Win's a win.
Yeah, that's right.